This is 2OF Entertainment.
Hi guys, and today I've got for you this thing. What is it? This is a GWM Ora Funky Cat. Yes, it is called Funky Cat. Why is it called Funky Cat? Because they say it's an EV with personality. It's from China. What is GWM? I think you're wondering. Well, actually, it's a massive motor company that you've probably never heard of. They have 5 manufacturers under their umbrella group, one of which is Haval, which I have tested cars from Haval in a previous life in the UAE. They've been around since 1984. They produced 1.3 million cars last year. They've made 16.6 billion in gross revenue alone. They're in over 60 countries and they employ over 60,000 people, and they've just done a joint venture with BMW, which means they're actually setting up operations in Europe next to BMW precisely to target Europe. And talking of Europe, this car is now being launched in the UK and in Europe literally this month, which is November of 2022. Now this is the entry-level model from this all-new manufacturer. It's a clean sheet design, and basically this is a car that is full EV. It's going to be a 48 kilowatt hour battery with 193 mile claimed range. Let's have a quick look around the car. I'm on a media drive, so I've got limited time with it, but I'll take you around the car. I'll show you the boot, the interior capacity, and the practicality, and then of course we're going to take it for a drive. Right, so Ora was actually launched in China in 2018, and they've clocked up a considerable number of sales already over there. Over here, they're expecting to sell 5,000 cars by the end of 2023. They already have a following of about 8,000 people in the UK, so there's 8,000 people are interested in the car because they've been showing it at various shows, including Fully Charged not that long ago. So 48 kilowatt hour battery with 193 mile claim range, which is a little bit worrying because normally that sort of range that's claimed means a lot less in the real world. So 193 would normally equate to 153, although they claim that they're being a little bit more accurate with this in terms of real world mileage availability. So there's 170 brake horsepower and 240 newton meters of torque. It drives the front wheels. It'll get from rest to 62 miles per hour in 8.3 seconds, and it will reach 99 miles per hour. It's a small family size car. As you can see, it's about 4.2 meters long and 1.8 meter wide. It weighs just over 1.5 tons. You are well looked after in this car because it has a 5-star Euro NCAP crash safety rating, which is up to about 93%, so actually one of the top 3 in its category. It also has a 5-year warranty, 8 years or 100,000 miles warranty for the battery, and you only need to service it once every 2 years or 18,000 miles. So what you're asking is, how much is it? Well, it's 31,995. They only have one trim level at the moment, which is this one. It's the first edition, and the only options are metallic paint. There will be a GT edition next year, possibly bigger battery, 63 kilowatt, and there will be other models and other colors coming along down the line, and they will be introducing more cars as well. So this is a big operation. The sales and deliveries are starting this month. New dealers are opening by the 28th of November, and you can actually do the whole purchasing operation online as well. So let's take a look at the boot. Actually, first, let's take a look at the key. That's a pretty funky key, right? Well, it is the Funky Cat. This is unique to the first edition, apparently, which is a model that's going to stay on sale for some while, so it's not that limited, although ultimately it will be. Now, I want you to just look at the rear lights in the glass here if I press the unlock button. Now, is that a bit of Knight Rider action or what? You can also unlock the boot, but however, it's not a power boot. So let's just do that from there. And when you open the boot, you realize that actually it's just the top part of the back section. So what you end up with is actually quite a high lip. So if you want to get stuff into it, that's quite a bit of a lip that you need to get bags and stuff over. In terms of boot space, it's about adequate, it's about average. It's not as much as what you get in the VW ID3, for example, which is one of the key competitors that they've said that they're targeting with this car. However, this one is about at least £5 cheaper, like for like. This has got cables in it, as you can imagine. Now there is a bit of space under the floor, so if I lift that up, but it's all compartmentalized, and it's got tire repair kit and more room for charging cables and stuff like that. There's 228 liters of space in here. If you fold the seats down, all of them, it's split folding 60/40 seats, it's about 858 liters, so a fair bit of space if you do need to visit IKEA. Okay, here I am inside the Ora Funky Cat, and look at the interior. This is quite funky, isn't it? I mean, check out these seats. They kind of match the green of the exterior. It's only available in these 4 colors. I think there's a blue, there's a black, there's this green, and there's a red. The red comes with a black roof, and the green comes with this white roof, and that is matched by the color scheme that they have inside the car here, as you can see. Now, this seat is set for me. I'm 6'2" with long legs. As you can see, that's really good. I've actually got, even the wiggle room for the feet is not too bad. They're a little bit tight in there, but it's not too bad. But knee room's actually very, very good. This seat is set for me. It hasn't moved, so that's perfectly okay. So actually, that's quite spacious. This is digging into my back, but that'll go up. That's not a problem. Over here, you have got an armrest with 2 cup holders in it. You've got this very interesting, I mean, you know, dare I say, that's almost Bentley-like, the quilted nature of that leather, or I suspect fox leather. And then you have this kind of, it looks like it's going to be Alcantara or velvety, but actually that's also kind of leathery. So it's a look that it has rather than actual texture. Isofix Chelsea anchor points, of course. Over here you have a charging point. This is a full USB charging point, so that's quite handy. You've got pockets back here, you've got door pockets down there, and more of that Bentley type quilting on the door panel. But I gotta say, it's not too bad at all. Headroom is okay, it's not too bad, although the roof does come down a little bit, and the C-pillars do seem to be quite wide. But I can see out the front, I can see out the side, I can see out the front. It seems to be pretty good. Time to see what the front is like. So here we are, inside the Ora Funky Cat. And you heard it speak there. That's because it was asking where the key is. That's one of the things about this car that you'll find. It likes to talk a lot. They're not kidding about the friendly personality. They're talking about energetic, warm, friendly, welcoming. This is what this Ora Cat is about. And one of the key things about it is it's got this, "Hello, Ora."
I'm listening.
And it's got this little, look at this little character that comes up there. "Hello, Ora.
What's up?
What's the temperature today?"
Today in Monk's Bath, looks like it will be mostly sunny with a high of 13 and low of 8 degrees.
So there you go. Cancel. So there you go. Check this out.
Cancelled.
Check this out. This is the interior of the car. Like I said, it matches the exterior. This is quite soft, but again, not felt, not Alcantara, but actually kind of leathery. Little bit of a bump there, so just a thing in the quality a little bit. That's plasticky. That's quite nicely done. It's not full vents all the way across. That's blocked, but that's a vent, that's a vent, that's a vent. Then you've got a glove box there, which is about normal, not bad. But you've also got deep door pockets. Nice bit of textured finish on there, as well as the Bentley quilting. I'm just going to call it a Bentley quilting now. And then you've got the mini toggle switches. So I'm going to call these the mini toggle switches. These are basically like what you get in the mini. These control the temperature, and the hazard light is there. Then you've got your instrument display there. Both of these are entirely digital. There's a lot to talk about with this car. We've got the home screen where it's actually permanently connected. It comes with its own SIM card, and they do over-the-air updates and stuff like that. For example, it doesn't have Apple CarPlay yet, but they will introduce that soon, and it will automatically be downloaded to your car. But then you've got settings and stuff like that, so you can go into vehicle settings. So one of the things it does, it's got a camera here. Check this out. This here is a facial recognition and monitoring camera. So it recognizes who you are and then sets up the car the way you like it. You can preset everything to your seating position and all the rest of it. Powered front seats on both sides. This car is very well equipped as standard. And then also it can detect if you get tired, and it gives you various alerts and stuff like that. So for example, if I look here, this driver monitoring system, which I want to turn off actually, because I don't want it talking to me when I'm driving. But that's what it will do. So if it detects you're tired, it will tell you to pull over and take a rest. You can set up how you want the locking and lighting and driving. And of course there are driving modes as well, which are actually the buttons over here. And if I show you this, you see it said mode there. So if I press mode, normal mode activated, right? Did you hear that? When Roddy went, that was sport mode. Eco mode, that's automatic, where it decides what's best from your driving style. Normal mode, which is the same sound. And that crazy sound for sport. Okay, I'm going to leave it in auto for now. Steering, there's buttons on the steering wheel, obviously. There's your wipers, your indicators, which are the one-touch sort of system, your controls for the stereo. You have cruise control, and it's got active, adaptive cruise control. So it not only does the distance monitoring thing, but it will follow the road. In fact, it's got all of those systems on here. But just to complete, before I got there, normal buttons down here for the lights and mirrors, door locks, stuff like that. Over here, you've got two USBs, one for charging, one for connectivity, but also a power supply. You've got a plaque that says first edition, which, you know, really looks like it's stuck on there. But hey, it's something to remember. And then you've got your cup holder down here. You've got this big console where you have this parking button knob. So you've got park is just press, and then you turn to get into gear. You've got wireless charging, and then you've got another deep bin down here, which is actually quite deep actually. That's quite useful in terms of space. Now, what else in terms of spec, like I said, this is very well equipped as standard. Adaptive cruise control, the ADAS package is incredible because rear cross traffic alert, it's got automatic braking, it will detect pedestrians, it will do junction assist, traffic sign recognition, e-call, so make an emergency call if it needs to. It's got a center airbag as well, so that goes up here. Quilted leatherette seats is the Bentley seats that I'm talking about. Infotainment's got 10.25-inch wireless phone charging and satellite navigation, 6 speakers, surround sound, Bluetooth, internet radio, all the rest of it. 10.25, again, the instrument cluster is the same size. So no keyless entry and start, although you have an off button. So you can actually turn the car off, but to go, you just get in, it detects you're in the car, you press drive and you select drive and off you go. Automatic headlights, automatic high beam assist, all of that sort of stuff. Automatic wipers, of course. And it's got camera, so I'm going to show you the camera. There you go. So it's got the full 360-degree camera, which is actually pretty good. So any issues with those massive C-pillars at the back and the smaller rear window are negated by the fact that it has that. And you put it back into park, and rear parking sensors, charging, etc., etc. It also, you can set up the charging time, so you can set it up for when you want it to charge. So if you're plugging it home, you can select off-peak hours, etc., etc. So that's really good. Right. I think the next thing to do now, really, is take it for a drive. Right then, here we are. Just locked itself. The thing with these cars is they do all of these things and you're never quite sure what they're doing. I'm sitting quite upright actually, but actually no, it's kind of weird because it feels like it's an SUV. It's obviously not an SUV. And I can adjust for reach and for rake. Actually that's fine where it was. Oh look, oh I see. So when you slow down, it automatically gives you the surround camera to show you where you are and any obstacles around you. I wonder if there's a lot of things that are going on in this car where it's trying to be very, very clever in terms of trying to not only provide you the assistance you need when you need it, but it's almost trying to second guess what you want to do and what you're trying to do. But there's no heads-up display, by the way, which, considering how highly spec'd this car is a little bit surprising. Now, talk about highly spec'd. Well, one of the things that they will be introducing is another model lineup in the Ora range, not a Funky Cat. They're calling it Next Cat, but I think that's a working title for now. And that looks like a saloon car. It looks more like a Taycan, a Porsche Taycan. It looks like a rival for that sort of thing. It looks a lot more upmarket inside, and I think that the price would jump significantly. And now, one of the things to talk about this, let's get that out of the way straight away, is that a lot of people have said that the car has ended up being more, this car has ended up being more expensive than a lot of people thought it would be. And I guess that's because the early impression, the initial impression was that it would be relatively affordable. And by that, when we come to electric cars, we're talking if it's under 30 grand, like for example MG have done with the MG4, but I think that's a bit of a coup on their part, then that would be regarded as affordable. But I think that the thing to keep in mind, however, is that yes, this is an entry-level EV. Yes, it's the first car. They're trying to set a standard, set a precedent, establish their identity, but they also want to get a lot of customers in. But they're speccing the car up very highly, that's for sure. And the price at 31,000 or 32,000 realistically, and maybe a little more, let's say 32 and a half once you've gone for the colors that you want, the funky colors for the Funky Cat, then you're talking about something that's still between 5 and 9 grand cheaper than rivals such as the VW ID3. And now you could be asking, why has it gone up in price? Well, I mean, there's a number of reasons for that, which one has to consider. This car was first shown, I think, a couple of years ago, and then they were talking about prices of under 30K. But a lot has happened in those 2 years. And one of the things that's happened is that prices of all vehicles have gone up. They've just gone up massively. And that's largely due to the fact that there's a supply issue, there's a scarcity issue, so prices are going up. The prices of batteries and components have gone up, so just making the things is more expensive now. So that's one of the reasons for that. Accelerated very nicely onto the motorway there, no problem at all. You notice the indicator is a one-touch system, so you don't push it up and it doesn't click. You push it up. If you push it up a little bit, it does a three indicator thing. If you push it up all the way, then it does a proper indicator until it releases or you release it manually. So yeah, so talking about the price, I think that considering what's happened in terms of the world at large, 32, and also in the great scheme of things when it comes to electric cars, which are generally most of them are in the 40 plus bracket, then this is still a reasonable and affordable EV. Now the question is the range. You're talking about a quoted range of 193. It's 186. We'll see how we get on with that.
Don't get distracted. Please concentrate while driving.
You see, I told you that's what it does. It talks about, it notices that I'm not looking at the road ahead, and then it starts to basically admonish you. That's what it does. So I'm going to have to find that and turn it off again, because that's obviously come back on again, hasn't it? So that's quite good. It gives you a breakdown on the map, showing you exactly where you need to go. It actually physically shows you the lanes that you should be taking, so that's quite useful. So we've had a nice little run on the motorway, and these indicators are already annoying me. It's one of those things that, there you go, they've cancelled now. But you just have to, sometimes I found it really difficult to cancel it a few moments ago when I was trying to cancel it, and it just wouldn't do it. Additionally, it's giving me a digital indication of the road ahead. Lights have come on, everything's gone dark. I don't know if you saw that on that camera, but that's kind of cool. It's gone into dark mode now. That's kind of neat. And it's showing me an indication or visual representation of that, and it shows you the cars around you, that actually around you, and it shows you as they are. So that car has come up and it's now on the screen there. And it also shows you rain as well. So kind of like there's these streaks, there's these lines. I guess they're indicating that it's raining. So it's amazing what it can do. On the motorway, it's been very smooth, very quiet. I'm down to a range of 175 miles. But to be honest, that actually pretty much equates to what we've done on the motorway. So mile for mile, it's close, it's doing all right. So actually it's fairly accurate, even in the motorway scenario, where normally, typically what happens is that, say, for every 5 miles on a motorway, the range depletes by 10 plus. But in this case, it's pretty much on par. It's been very quiet, it's been very stable as well, has a real grown-up feel to it. We've come a long way from, early Chinese cars, I'll tell you that much. It feels really solid. The quality of the car actually is pretty good, apart from a little bit of finishing here and there, but overall, it's not bad at all. So the rain is getting really bad now, but having said that, I don't feel any issue. Visibility out front actually is really good. Mirrors are nice and big and wide, and actually even the rear view mirror has been proving to be okay. It's not really too much of an issue. Headrests are out of the way, so visibility at the front is okay, and I don't really perceive that to be a problem, particularly as I'm sitting a little bit higher than you would think. Now, one thing I would say, see the light comes on there because it's got the blind spot monitor. It's got a lot of safety systems on this car, which obviously is a good thing, really, isn't it? One of the things I will say about the car is that in person, it's a lot bigger than it looks on video or on photos. You might be watching it and looking at it and thinking it's a Fiat 500 size sort of car, but actually it's slightly, I would say it's a Golf size footprint and a little bit taller. So it's actually quite substantial, and it feels substantial when you're in the car, and being, sitting high up and stuff, it's not bad at all. Let's get these demisters working. This is one of those cars that really you would need to spend a fair bit of time with, because it has lots of little features and novelties and gadgetry and stuff like that really takes a while to learn, and little foibles. Like, for example, like every time I press the accelerator, the bar on the right of my panel here, and actually even when I'm braking it goes up. So I don't know if it's, oh, I see, because it's giving you a regen, so it's a kilowatt, how much kilowatt power you're using, so it goes into plus or into negative. I think I'm getting the hang of the indicators now. It just takes a little bit of adapting to it to understand what they're doing. I like the home button, it takes you back to where you were, but there's also, obviously, you can talk to the car when you need some assistance. And that's one of the things they're saying, is that the technology is such that they reckon that once you get used to everything, once you know how everything works, once you've understood the commands that it understands, then you are able to actually pretty much operate the car without actually having to touch the screen. You can just talk to it. Little bit of slippage there at the front. So I've been trying this around town. I'm down to 163 miles, so I've lost about 20 miles. I've probably done about 15, so that's on par. The stereo was very good. I tried that, and the sound system was very nice. The heating worked really well. The climate control worked well. Around town, it was very agile, very easy to see out of. The high seating position gives you a lot of confidence, but also it's compact enough to be easy. We were stuck in Warwick, and I kept making wrong turns. I have to say the sat-nav I find a little bit complex and confusing, because there's too many ways that you can figure it out, and the crucial bit of information is not in front of you, it's over there. But anyway, what that did give me a chance was to keep going around in circuits at Warwick, and I found that I recouped some of the energy there, but I also found it was very easy in traffic, in tight roads, to drive this car. The tall vantage point helped, but also the fact that it is actually relatively compact, and also the fact that the camera comes on. As soon as you slow down, you find yourself in a tight spot, the cameras automatically, all the camera come on, and they really kind of help you. One thing is about the intervention of the steering, that sort of stuff it does a lot of, and that can be a little bit annoying. If it was me, I'd go into the system, I'd try and find out how I could turn off all those systems, but with the facial recognition thing, hopefully it would remember that for each individual driver. We're moving into a few nice roads now, so a nice little chance to just give it a try. Oh, the accelerator really responds nicely. So if I slow it down and jump on the throttle, it's like, whoa, it goes red there, but there you go. And I'm in sports mode, so I'm getting a little bit more go when I press the loud pedal. I say loud pedal, but there's no sound. There's not even an artificial sound in this one. This has been a short drive in the car, but it's been quite eye-opening in the sense that this is a very grown-up car. Although it's got all these little gimmicks and foibles and a little character that comes up on the screen, but it's actually quite a grown-up car in the sense that it's very well developed, very well engineered. They've taken the extra time to get it right. The range might be a concern, but actually no, it's dropped. Now that I put the foot down, it's dropped. I've lost 4 miles straight away, so 161, or maybe that's when I would put it into sports mode. Maybe that's why that happened. But now that we're on this tight road, and actually the response is pretty good. The fact that the body control is actually quite nice, so it's not moving around too much. It's staying fairly flat, although I'm sitting quite high up, but again, the lower center of gravity. Brakes are pretty good, progressive and strong. There's no doubt about, even in the one pedal mode, or kind of eco mode, it went into slight one pedal, but it was very progressive and it wouldn't come to a complete halt. It was just sort of, so even now actually it's doing quite a bit of slowing down regen, and I'm in sports mode, so it still does that sort of thing. But overall, the brakes are not a surprise, so they're pretty straightforward. They're linear. There's no change in the proportion of power or anything like that. Around this little road here, I'm really kind of enjoying the car now. it's coming into its own a little bit and actually able to exploit the performance, which to be honest isn't too bad. It's one of those cars where you think, okay, well actually you could probably do with a little bit more performance actually, so because it seems to be coping with this quite well. And now I've driven it on some quite nice tighter roads and thrown it around a little bit, and actually it would prove to be quite enjoyable. It stays fairly flat. The lower center of gravity of an electric car with the batteries in the floor pan certainly help, but the steering is a little bit, it's not quite as centered in the middle. It's a little bit loose. I would like it to be a little bit more self-centering, a little bit less play in the center bit there. But other than that, and it's also quite light, but then that's what you would expect. Light, easy controls on this car. It's very easy to drive, but actually it's fairly accurate and does reasonably well. No fuel, of course, but you know, it's okay. The ride quality, I think, is very good in this car. I'm very impressed with that. Again, with electric cars, you have this issue where they're a little bit hard, a little bit juddery, but this one damps really well, manages the surface really well, and copes really well. And also the body movement is very good. You get a little bit of noise like that, but actually no, it's really good. I don't really have that much reason to complain. A little bit nuggety maybe on the really rough surfaces, but other than that, not too bad at all. It's a very easy car to drive, very easy car to just jump in and move off, although if you really want to get to know it, you really have to spend time with it to learn all of the systems and everything like that. It's very quiet, it's actually remarkably refined, didn't get moved around too much on the motorway, and around town it's fairly nippy, agile, and the camera system really helps, so it gives you a lot of confidence. So overall then, I think it's not bad. It's not bad value for money, actually. Despite what people are saying, if you look at it in the context of electric cars, it's still at the lower end, but it's very well equipped. It's got tons and tons of stuff on this car that you normally would pay a premium for. So in that sense, I would say it's actually good value for money. Time will tell how it performs over time, but you know, Chinese cars are getting better and better and better, so I think that also with the reassurance of that warranty and also that very high crash safety rating, I think we're onto a good thing here. So thumbs up for me. Another great new entry into the now quite populated EV market segment. Let me know what you think of the car in the comments below.